Good morning. Happy Thursday. Hope all of you are having a great, wonderful day. It's pretty outside here for right now. I don't know what the weather's going to do today, but I'm excited to be here. A little bit sleepy after staying up late last night, but the reason I was up late is what this message is about. Last night we had Motion Night with Church of the Highlands, and this is a program designed for our youth. It's designed to help the teenagers and the younger kids feel like they're part of something, feel like they have their own unique ways to communicate with God and to fellowship with one another. And this is so important. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks how important our youth is. I know that when God called me into ministry, He specifically called me into youth ministry. And that is because I guess having raised my own 3 kids and because they're so spread out in age. My oldest is 28 and my son is 18 and my youngest is 13. So I have watched these kids over a span of 28 years. That blows my mind when I think about it. But I've watched them grow up and I've watched them go through the different generations and what the kids are facing and what the kids are dealing with. And then also, my generation of what, I dealt with, which came along not long before, I was barely an adult when I started raising children. So it's almost like I have 4 generations that I can compare, boom, boom, boom. And when you do that, you see crazy changes in how things were then and how things are now. And then you also see similarities. So it's like I have this insight into all these generational gaps for some people. And so it just really hit me how important it is to talk about this and to talk about what's going on with our kids and how to fix it. The children today, they are faced with an incredibly different array of issues and problems than what most of us as parents were faced with. We had our own set of problems, don't get me wrong, and they were tough and they were rough, and the kids these days don't understand that. But that's in the past, and what we're looking at is the present and the future, most importantly, the future. Our kids, this younger generation that's growing up right now, this is our future. These are who is going to be running our country. These are who's going to be running the businesses, controlling the job market, controlling the financial of our country. I mean, think about it. Look at your child right now and think about, hey, this is our future. Is this a future I want to be a part of? And for those of you who are not parents, look at your friends' children. Just look at children in general and get just a grasp of, hey, this is what our future is right here. So what do we want to do about that? I feel like these kids right now are so misunderstood because not only do we realize this is our future, so does Satan. And I feel like this season that we're in right now, the generation of kids that are coming up right now, Satan is attacking, and he is attacking them on a level that we didn't see when we were growing up. Jesus is coming back, and his coming is getting closer and closer and closer, just like it was prophesied. And the children are being targeted. Satan doesn't want things to get better. He wants things to get worse. He wants less and less people to be turning to Jesus. So the things our kids are dealing with, they're tough. They're really tough. Our kids are so confused and they get mislabeled. They get misunderstood. They get mislabeled. They get called rebellious. It's just this new age of kids. Well, yeah, it is a new age of kids, but it's not their fault. They are literally being attacked by Satan. Now, it's our job to combat that And the Bible is clear about this, because these problems, you think, oh, well, this is all new. It's not new. These problems were going on back in the Old Testament, because a lot of these scriptures are coming from the Old Testament that I'm going to read to you, some from the New Testament. This has been going on forever, right? And God recognizes this, and he knows this. And so he gives us instructions, and it is up to us to pay attention. It's up to us to not only save our future, but save our children. I mean, most importantly, where's your child going? Is your child serving Jesus and going for everlasting life, or is your child doomed to torture and the fires of hell? In Colossians 3:21, it says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged." This is so important, and it's a message I really want to get across. Just because you're a parent doesn't give you a right to antagonize your child and make your child into a fury of anger and resentment so that they don't hear any guidance coming out of your mouth. And that's what he's talking about. They will get discouraged. And you know what? When children get discouraged, what do? They just turn and run. The parents are supposed to be the security for a child. We're supposed to be the strength for them that they lean on, that they run to when they have trouble. If you're the one causing the trouble, who does this child have to run to? Where do they run? If they can't come to you, they turn elsewhere. And what is the most common thing that troubled teenagers are turning to? They're turning to drugs, alcohol, sex, crimes. We've got to save our children. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he's old, he will not depart from it." I'm living proof of this. I was raised in a Christian home. I was raised in church, and I may have strayed away a little bit, but it was always in me. It was always in my heart. It was always in my soul. There was always a pull and a tug to come back. And voila, it worked. Ephesians 6:4, again, it says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord." It doesn't say beat your kids into submission. It says bring them up in the discipline of the Lord. The discipline of the Lord is not mean and cruel. It's promoting happiness and joy. It says, again, it's emphasizing, do not provoke your children. I feel like there's so many parents out there who I'm the last word. I'm the one that makes the rules. My house, my rules, my car, my clothes, my phone. And they're just boom, boom, boom. They're not listening to their kids. They're not interacting with their kids, or ordering their kids around. They're provoking them to so much anger, confusion, and frustration that the kids are turning away instead of running towards. Deuteronomy 6:6-8, and I'm just going to read this. "These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates." Booyah! That's the key right there. That's the key. You don't just come at your kids, preaching at them, sit down, we're going to talk about this, boom, their ears just go, nah, I'm not listening to it. They're tuning you out. What is talking about? Put it on your forehead. In other words, have it readily available continuously. This isn't just a one-time thing. You sit and you talk to your kids and you fuss at them and you preach at them. You need to be better. You need to go to church. You need to do this. No. First of all, you lead by example. You live a life that your kids want. You want your kids to look at you and see something that they want to become. You want them to see happiness and joy. If you're always bitter and angry and frustrated, what message is that sending to our kids? The influence of God and raising kids to turn to God is something you do continuously. It's something that's there every day. Like it says, I'm printed on your forehead. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not talking about a sticky note stuck up here, but like every day, let it be little hints you're dropping here and there, little, yeah, well, yada, yada, yada. I mean, take every opportunity you can to instill this in them so that it's their first response. It's what comes natural. We need to save our future, and that starts with our kids. And that's our thought for today.